I'm Aiman.
I'm Hizami.
And welcome back to one of my videos. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to assemble the Retriever Kennel. There are many similar products out there. In our case, we have the Retriever brand from Tractor Supply Co. But I've also found similar brands on Amazon. And we also have a previous video just showing us how we got the Retriever Kennel, which you can check out, but this video is just going to be assembly. Alright, so before we start our assembly, we want to take note of what parts we have. We have 6 different panels. And so we have 4 of these regular wall panels. One of them is at Hizami. One panel has a little flap for the dog cage or dog house. And the last panel has a door and another small panel that can be removable. This door also can flip out both ways. So before you start assembling, you want to be sure or have an idea of what you want all the panels to be arranged in. For our plans, we're going to put the door on the right side, put one wall, put the doghouse, put wall, wall, wall. So you want to have that in mind before you start assembling everything, because if you don't, and you realize that you don't have it the way you want it to be, then you have to disassemble it and reassemble it. And another thing is when you assemble it, it's going to look like this. It's very important that you have the end of the kennel assembled so that these bars here are on the outside of this wall. And so we're going to demonstrate in the video, but just to give you an idea before we start it, what it's going to look like. So down here, you're going to want to use a 17mm socket, and if you have power tools, then you can use, I prefer to use a Milwaukee, but just a regular driver like this with a 17mm socket is just as good. Over here you can see the hardware that we have to attach all the bars. We have this little bracket here, and these brackets come in pairs. They're going to squeeze around the 2 bars, just like this, and assume that there's another bar that goes through here. And you want to take a closer, and you're going to want to take your bolt with a washer and a nut, and you want to slide it through this hole, and then hold on, you want to put the washer. Okay, hold on, let me restart that. Okay, so you want to take your bolt, you want to slide it through the center hole, then you want to take your washer and then put your nut on top. So that's the general assembly that we're going to follow as we go along. And according to all the videos I've seen, there's not really a precise place to put the bracket in terms of like where it's vertically positioned. So we're going to use these wires as our reference point. My idea is we're going to put a clamp just above the second rung on the bottom. And then for the top side, we're going to put it just above this second rung on the top. Alright, so with that all being said and done, let's get started with assembling. Something that's going to be really helpful when you're assembling this is a second person to help you hold up one panel as you get the corner panel up. You don't want to assemble 2 walls at the same time. You always want to do a corner when you start. This is because when you have a corner assembled, it's already going to be stable like that. So we're going to start right here. So I'm going to need 2 clamps and my driver. Thank you, Hizami, for helping me out. Okay. So set this aside. You want to bring up the panel. Make sure that if you're assembling a corner, that the short side is on the inside of the 2 outside panels. So come closer. So you want to make sure that this is on the outside corner, not the short side. Okay. So as you can see right now, this is not level. They are not on this, these 2 panels are not at the same height. And so you probably don't want to over tighten. You probably don't want to fully tighten everything if it's not level yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the clamp on, put the bolt, but we're not going to fully tighten it. We're going to fully tighten it at the end after everything is already assembled, and then we can be sure that it's level. Okay, so put that washer on, and then put that nut on. Okay. And so right now, you can see that it's very loose. We're going to tighten it later, but first we're going to get the second one on. And as for where you put the bolt, whether it's on the outside or the inside, it doesn't really matter. Aesthetically, now that I'm thinking about it, it'd probably be nicer to put the bolt on the outside. So we're going to change that later. Okay. Alright, so we're just going to align this to the second rung. Put the second clamp on. Washer. And then bolt. And then nut. Okay. Alright, let me switch this around real quick. In hindsight, putting the bolt on the front side also is a slight deterrence to people dismantling your kennel and stealing your dog. So I guess you might want to think about that too. And in our case, also our cats and Romeo, our bird. Okay, all right, let's move on. At this point, it doesn't matter which panel you put on, but just for stability purposes, you could put this panel on. But for accessibility purposes, it's easier to put the backside on, because if we have this one on, then getting the backside on here will be a bit hard. So we're going to put the backside on first. Okay. And you want to make sure that the legs are at the bottom and that these horizontal bars are at the top. Okay, Hizami? Help me out here. Can you hold this? Okay. And if you're worried about this falling apart while you're working on it, then you can fully tighten it. If you have small hands, then you can just poke your arms through. But I'm assuming that most of you have large hands, so it's probably better to work from the inside angle to put the bolt on. Yep, and let me put the washer on. But as a mechanic, I'm very used to getting my hands in small spaces. And if you have a second person, like we have here, then we can work together to put the brackets on. All right, here you go. So we'll put it just above the bottom rung. Okay. Doesn't need to go all the way for now. Just needs to be so that it doesn't fall apart. One thing to note, I figure in advance is it's kind of self-explanatory, but the brackets have a square-shaped hole on them, and the bolts have a square-shaped insert on them. So always make sure that the bolt is flush to the clamp or to the bracket by using this square guide. Okay, alright, let's continue. Okay, so I made a bit of a mistake, which is funny because I said to watch out for this at the beginning of the video. But remember when I said to make sure that you plan out where you put all of your panels? I said that I wanted the cat house panel to be here. As you can see, this is not the cat house panel. So I need to replace this panel with this cat house panel, or the dog house panel. It's a good thing that I noticed this, midway through the construction rather than at the end. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this panel out, we're going to move it around and install that the other panel. So we're going to do that real quick.
Let's install this wall so that will main stage.
Okay. Alright, engineer. This is actually me having a big brain idea by not tightening everything. I don't need this. Which one?
And you just turn it around.
Yeah, but it's 60 pounds.
Okay. Is it working? Can you rotate it? Okay. Let's see this.
Can I turn it around?
Yeah. I'm just gonna loosen it a bit.
Oh.
What?
Is there an accident?
Yeah, so. Oh yeah, so apparently there was an accident near the stop sign. I feel like accidents happen at that stop sign like 5 times a year. So we should get some cameras to be pointed towards that stop sign. But anyway, as you can see, now we have a wall on one side. And now we have a gap positioned so that we can put the doghouse panel. Engineering. So Hizami had the bright idea to take this wall and turn it and make it a corner. So you can go with that route. My mom also had the idea to just take the wall and put it on this side. So either way is fine. It's up to you. Okay. So we probably want the cows to be centered. So we'll make sure that the panel is on my right, your left.
You only for some clothing.
What?
It should be this way.
What are you talking about? So our plan is to have the door on this side, and then the cat house is going to be positioned here.
So this is the door.
Yeah, that's the door. This is not the door.
And this one also for this?
Yeah, just in case. Some people might want to put the panel here. Okay. It might be easier to move this one instead, so we can keep that there. But can you help me out here?
didn't know that.
Hey, Ma, can you grab a second? Actually, no, it's okay.
What?
Can you grab a second clamp from there?
This one?
Yeah.
With the screw?
Yeah. And can you also pass us a washer and a bolt and a nut? Alright, that's enough.
See?
Yeah.
This one?
And then one washer. And then one of these panels. Of the flat ones. Yep. Thanks, Matt. Whew. Okay, Hizami, here you go. Yeah. Go big mode. Go big mode. Alright, second round. Okay, nice. Alright. Move this closer. Okay.
You need this?
Yep. I have a washer. And could you hand that other one to Hizami? And then
The washer.
I have it.
This is only, that's another one. No.
Yeah, could you grab a I have the washer right here.
Yeah, for this one, for Hizami.
I dropped it. Oh, wait, which side should that be on?
Inside.
But you got washer?
Yeah, no, I don't.
You need washer too, right?
Yeah, Hizami has it.
Oh, okay.
Could you get us another of these like pairs? One washer, one bolt, one nut, and then two.
Just tell me better of it.
Yeah, that.
Alright.
One pair.
All right. That's Hizami. Alright, so now when we want to put the second panel on, it's going to be kind of, well, actually, it might not be blocked by this styrofoam, but we're just going to cut it now. It's going to be okay because the door is actually held in place by a lock. And while we're here, we can get a bit of an idea of how the door works. So you can see here that you can lift up these strips of metal, and that will allow the door to swing out on one side. The nice thing about this is that there's also a strip of metal on the other side. And so that means regardless of if you're on the outside or the inside, if I'm on the outside, I can open it. And as you can see, when I close the door, it causes the strip of metal to go up. And then when it goes back, it can lock behind it. And also when I'm on the inside, I can also open it the same way. And close it the same way. Pretty nifty. Okay. All right, Hizami. Actually, you need this. So we're gonna put it above this second row. Again, make sure that the long side is on the outside edge. My dad suggested while he was watching us that it might also be a good idea for this long side, assemble both of the walls together and you can fully tighten it. And so that means that you can swing up the long side and then fasten it on both sides. At that point, then these bars here will already be fully adjusted and you won't have to worry about tightening them later. Alright, Hizami? At this point we already have this side up, so we're just going to put the last side on. Let me just tighten this here. Hey, muscle strong. All right. What do you think of mine? Good to me? Okay. Alright. You're gonna be locked inside then. Alright, so at this point, you get the idea. I've already shown you everything that needs to be done. So the rest of the clips are just gonna be vlogs for me and my family to enjoy. Okay, Hizami? You're going to need two. Actually, we're gonna need Alright. So I'm going to need your help to make sure these are aligned. So keep them like this. Okay, Hizami. Let me slide that under. Alright, I'm going to lift this temporarily. Wait, loosen
Wait,
it?
before you have to put this thing first.
Aduh,
Don't tighten yet.
Aduh.
We'll just do this real quick because Ma wants it to be.
Mati aman.
Can you hold that?
Hold mana?
Yeah, just like that.
Ya, Kak.
Yep. That's the point.
We let the dogs out.
Sorry. Easy money.
Tighten the middle one. Tonight, Hizami can sleep in there.
You also wait, loosen it a bit. We're gonna raise it up so it's above the rung. Ah. Alright, try it again. Now you can tighten it. Don't worry about it. We're not going to use the ratchet the entire time. Just for this one. Can you listen to this one? Okay. Tighten it up. What? So, all right, so now that we have all 6 panels on, we're going to start tightening all the bolts. And in order to make sure that the entire assembly is level, we're going to put planks of wood below. That ensures that at the corner, these 2 legs are at the same level. So when we tighten them, using a power tool this time. Oh, there. Alright. Oopsie days. Okay, there you go. Alright. Now that you mention it, it's not really level on this side. Alright. You ready?
Okay. You ready?
Yep. Okay. Ready? Yep, now ready. So if you're using a power tool, it's always important to make sure that you apply pressure on the bolt. So that, actually never mind. I guess you don't really need to do that because it has a square socket. Anyway.
I like to move it.
No.
I feel like even if they're both on the wood, it doesn't, actually never mind, they're level. Alright, Donnie?
You ready? Which side? This one?
Yep. He's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. Can you take that plank of wood? Actually, no, I'll get it.
You take it.
Alright, let's get the other one. Well, can you... never mind, actually. This one's already tightened, so...
You do this wrong side.
What?
Go ahead. Take out that. One lagi.
Sorry. Sorry, Matt.
Why is it not?
Okay. If you really want to go for perfectionism, to make sure that it's square, you can take a long piece of wood, hold it up to your bars, and you want to see if all of them are flush with the piece of wood. And you can loosen your brackets and then push them to adjust them. And then you can manually tighten all of the brackets to make sure that at the end, everything is square. Okay. Alright, so that's the kennel assembled. As you can see, it looks amazing. And also, it's pretty strong and durable. I see no chance of any person who would, I don't know why you'd want to steal a bird, but I don't see any possibility of someone getting into this kennel without a lot of work. Because this was a lot of work to assemble. I mean, in our case, it was a lot of work because we were trying to go for a bit of perfectionism. We were trying to make it level and everything. And I think that all of our efforts worked out. We're also going to move it a bit. This might not be the final place. We're going to put a cat house behind it. And in the next video, hopefully you'll see what it looks like when everything's in there. But for now, we're going to leave the next video for installing the roof. Hizami is going to take a look at the instructions and figure out how to put the roof. Some people don't put this roof cover. This is a specific roof cover made for this kennel. Some people put like, plywood on top. We're not going to do that because today, wood is probably more expensive than metal. So instead, we bought this roof cover, which was like $140. Alright, so I'm Aiman,
I'm Hizami.
Mom.
and thanks for watching. Please like and comment, subscribe, look at other videos of mine and Aiman, especially the videos on the kennel. Again, there's a introductory video before this, and then there's a roof cover video, assembly video after this. So go check that out, and I'll see you there. But for now, I'm Aiman, and signing out. Peace.